exactly right. And again, we keep mentioning the time that this pursuit has gone on, and we start to talk about the gas, how much fuel that this 1993 Saturn, the sedan with tinted windows, has left. We've covered quite the distance from the San Fernando Valley down to this point in northern San Diego County, near Camp Pendleton now, this pursuit is, adjacent to the Pacific shoreline here, this stretch of the Golden State Freeway. And how much fuel he has, how much gas he has is a determining factor here as well. We've heard a lot of scanner traffic with the CHP, attempts possibly to lay down the spike strip to bring this to an end. We haven't seen really any push to push this vehicle or employ that pit maneuver where they spin him out. This stretch of the 5 now, though, is showing a little bit more volume. But a lot of people take the 5 freeway coming northbound, coming up from San Diego County, and that side is still the heavier side. But the southbound side has its fair share of vehicles as well, but still nothing like many of the freeways we see during the morning rush. Yeah, I would think that they would want to bring this to an end. They wanted to bring it to an end miles back, because we do know that there were some attempts to throw down that spike strip. But again, they have a plan in place. They do this in such a way to keep everybody else safe, to bring it to a peaceful end, and that's what we're hearing up here. The best opportunities that they have to make that happen. And so far, except for that one close call at Beach Boulevard, there hasn't been a situation where we've seen anything too crazy, which is good. Nobody's been injured yet. We know that we don't know for sure, but we thought that there was just one occupant, a male. Now we're hearing it could be a female who's driving. That individual's been on and off his or her cell phone communicating with somebody from the start of the pursuit. And so far, it's just continued as is. High rates of speeds at times, 80 to 90 miles an hour. On the southbound side of the 5, we're going to start to get into the communities of Carlsbad, the northern suburbs north of downtown San Diego. But this is a pursuit that has lasted, going on 2 hours now, and a long pursuit, longer than I've covered in some time in distance and time. Very close, coming out of Long Beach down towards Huntington Beach here at Beach Boulevard. And he or she was on their cell phone at that time and meandered right across lanes there and came very close to striking another vehicle at a very high rate of speed. And that would have ended in a really horrific collision. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened. Now, we are still looking down below at an Orange County Sheriff's helicopter tracking this, even though we are in San Diego County, just a couple hundred feet above the freeway. So they're trying to get a good look at this as well, see if they can see anything inside this vehicle. But it's difficult. Again, you saw the tinted windows on this car. That makes it challenging for the officers to really see what they're dealing with and if anybody else is inside that car. No question. If you end up taking officers on a pursuit, endangering the lives of the officers and other people on the roadway, you're going to do jail time. There's no question about that. Whether or not this individual, because they ran, have priors or warrants, we don't know that. It could have just been a bad night, a bad weekend, and this person a little bit unstable and was lit up, may have been under the influence, may not have been, but just decided to run, and they continued to run. Male or female, we don't know yet. We believe it was just the one occupant in the car, but that may not be accurate either. The information we have, very limited. All that we knew is that the car was registered back to a residence in Bellflower. If it's a stolen vehicle, again, that's a moot point at this time. Bellflower, very close to Long Beach, and we did see this pursuit make its way through the Long Beach area on surface streets for about a half an hour, but then the driver picked up the 405 freeway southbound again, and then reconnected with Orange County freeways down to the 73 toll road and back to the 5, where the 73 kind of makes that cutaway. So many freeways, from the 101 in the Valley, to the 405 through the Sepulveda Pass, to the 105, the 110 freeway, to the 405 in Long Beach, to the 73 toll road, now to the 5 freeway. Wow, quite the distance. And there's that Orange County Sheriff's helicopter. You could see that great vantage point there, how low they're tracking this pursuit as we are up here in Skyfox HD. And Skyfox HD, yep, we were first on this yet again. It is. And there have been pursuits in the past in the county like this one did, and made its way all the way down into San Diego County. And this one is doing just that. The agency, it's only been the CHP that's been on this because it was a California Highway Patrol that initially lit up, lights and siren, this vehicle when he or she was driving erratically on the eastbound side of the 101, coming out of the West Valley, Tarzana, Reseda, towards Encino, and did not pull over. That's when the pursuit began, and that started almost 2 hours ago at 4:30. About 85. Been between about 80 and up to 100 at times, but now about 85 miles an hour. So we track speeds. We do hear some information on the scanner, but we coordinate our speed up here in Skyfox, our airspeed, with what we're watching down below here. All right, now into northern San Diego County here, into the Carlsbad area, heading down towards downtown San Diego on the southbound side of the 5, the Golden State Freeway here. And this pursuit is continuing in a similar manner that we saw about an hour ago. 405 CHP up, getting off the freeway here. Let's see what happens here. What option he's going to take. Highway 76 here in northern San Diego County. Single lane transition at one of those tight transitions. This is an area where one of these officers could spin him out. They denied the pit. He was going to possibly do it there, but he pulled off. But that was a good opportunity there for that pit maneuver to take place there. They didn't know he was going to exit the freeway there, but once they do, then those officers, if they're in the right position, that's when they will make that decision. Here, going back into a right lane transition, and it looks like he's going to make his way through the intersection here, through a red light. Now on Surface Street, so we'll try to get you this street here down in San Diego County. This is Highway 76. He is still on Highway 76 here in northern San Diego County. And it does run eastbound away from the shore through the communities in North San Diego County here. Again, this pursuit now officially has been going on for 2 hours, starting in the San Fernando Valley. It's 6:27 on this Monday morning, and Skybox has been on this for some time, from the San Fernando Valley all the way to this point in northern San Diego County. Unclear if this man or woman driving the car is armed at this point. All we know is that they're trying to evade police. And no question. And Marla brought up the point earlier, does he have a plan? And he may have a plan. He may know somebody down here. He may have an idea about this area. Because it did appear that he made that exit in a way that wasn't so erratic, I should say. That he or she made his way over to the right and then took this off-ramp and now is making their way eastbound on Highway 76. It could have just been a random exit because of whatever. Who knows at this point. Got a red light up ahead, traffic in lanes here on eastbound Highway 76 coming east from the 5. So now in the left turn lane here, trying to avoid this traffic. We'll see what happens. And this is a situation that becomes a little dicey. Through a red light, but stopping. Again, this is what we saw in Long Beach. Now making their way across the intersection here, the driver is. And this is a situation, again, where maybe one of these CHP SUVs can employ one of those pit maneuvers where they bump them on the side left or side right of this sedan, this 1993 Saturn tinted window sedan here, spin them out, spin her out, and hopefully bring this to an end without anybody getting hurt. We saw it. It was very close in the Huntington Beach area on the 405 freeway southbound at Beach Boulevard. Now, this stretch of Highway 76, and to be honest with you guys, because this is San Diego County, I'm not really familiar with the congestion pattern here. I do know this highway, but it appears from up here that most of the volume, most of the congestion, at least on this point, is on the westbound side of the 76, on the other side. So this driver has made their way on freeways from the San Fernando Valley southward here to northern San Diego County on those types of freeways for the most part, avoiding the thick of the morning rush. Maybe a little bit of both, because it's been quite amazing what we've seen from up here with this driver who was driving erratically in the first place. That's why he or she was lit up and did not pull over, and that's when the pursuit ended. CHP has been on it the whole time. 2 hours ago. Yeah, and again, we ask that question all the time, Marla. Why are these guys, these people who are being pursued, doing what they're doing? Because they're unstable, they're wanted for something, and they know that as long as they're not in custody and they're out of jail, they're doing good for themselves. Traffic through the intersection, through the red light there. That was another dicey one as well. So now, again, this becomes a situation where officers are going to have to make a decision whether or not they're going to be more aggressive and try to bring this to an end. Because with more intersections up ahead, more red lights, more opportunities for this to end in an accident and to injure somebody, some innocent driver on their way to work or school, that becomes a situation where officers are going to have to make that decision to try to pit this vehicle. Being that now it's on Highway 76, unclear if they have any opportunity for a spike strip up ahead. Traffic up ahead and making a veer to the left to avoid that traffic in an intersection with a red light right through the... There we go again. Yeah, you're right. And I want to widen out a little bit because I want to see if the CHP SUVs and those cruisers have pulled back. Nope, they're still right there. So even though in situations where sometimes we see it getting more dangerous, at times they will pull back. That's not the situation here. Picking up speeds again, 75, 80 miles an hour, Highway 76, northern San Diego County, making its way. Red light right here through the intersection there. Again, they lucked out because it appeared that the one side was a left turn side and no one was making that turn at that point. So fortunate so far, guys, that we haven't seen anything. Making a right blinker and a right turn here. Nope. Through the red again, though. Did not make the right turn. Off the right shoulder area. Really driving more erratically. Doing whatever he or she can to avoid police. Big intersection. Big red light here. Let's see if the driver decides to slow down at all. Going to the right. Here we go. Right through the intersection here. Well, nope. Slowing down. Okay, let's see what the officers try to do here. Yeah, right behind him. Narrowly missing that SUV. Again, CHP is going to have to do whatever they can now. An open stretch of the 76. Clip this car in the back, spin it out, disable it, and bring this to an end for sure. This is when the North San Diego commute really gets going, and Highway 76 here. It is a busy east-west street. Fresh green light here at this intersection up ahead. And we're hearing that information on the scanner, too. So we're hearing the CHP saying red light, green light. So we can relay that to you as this car approaches at very high rates of speed, these intersections, to see what they may be dealing with if there is that red light and the opportunity for a crash and somebody innocent being injured at this time. Many fatal wrecks as well that have been horrible. Left turn lane, but not turning left. That was a green there. Again, moving at a high rate of speed, now kind of off the roadway a little bit there. And Tony Marlowe, my communication mechanism, my ability to hear you is getting a little dicey here, so forgive me if I step on you at any time and hand it off to you. But right now, we're still pretty good at this point, but if that does happen. Eastbound on the 76 here, northern San Diego County here. Red light coming up ahead, 75 miles an hour. This 1993 four-door cross traffic Saturn being pursued here now for over 2 hours from the San Fernando Valley to this point. I count 3, 4 still CHP cruisers, SUVs tracking the suspect, possibly a female now we're hearing. We heard initially it was a male. We had believed that there was only the single occupant, the driver in the car, but that has not been confirmed because of the fact that the sedan, as you can see, has tinted windows. Being pursued because the driver failed to yield. The driver was driving erratically on the eastbound side of the 101 through the San Fernando Valley, did not pull over. Pursuit was on, and we've seen it cover miles and miles, likely close to 100 miles now. How much gas this driver has left, we don't know. And I can hear you guys perfectly right now. And again, this is a unique one, Tony and Marla, in terms of the time and the real estate that this has covered. Always. That's exactly right, Marla. They want to make sure that everybody on the roadway is safe. And that's how this pursuit started. They wanted an unsafe driver off the roadway, and that's why they lit him up. That was a green light there. 75, 80 miles an hour, though, above the speed limit here. This is more of a rural agricultural area of northern San Diego County here on Highway 76. And now that we're getting farther to the east, in the more rural, the burbs as we call them, it's lighter. The traffic is lighter volume as compared to what we saw west of this location along the Golden State Freeway, the 5, which this driver took the CHP down from Orange County off the 73 toll road. Half a dozen plus freeways this pursuit has been on from when it first started at about 4:30 this morning in the San Fernando Valley. No question. That was very close. A couple of very close calls. We're 5 miles away now from Interstate 15. Interstate 15 is an inland north-south stretch of highway, which stretches from the Cajon Pass, the Mojave Desert, southward into inland portions of Southern California. So in a few miles, this driver will have the opportunity to get on yet another freeway. Whether or not there's going to be another coordinated effort, if there were CHP units in this part of San Diego County that could have been pre-positioned to try yet again, possibly a third time for deploying that spike strip. That's unclear at this time. Maybe there'll be a better opportunity for a pit maneuver. We are coming up on another intersection here of Highway 76 with a red light, and we'll see what happens busting through that red light right through the intersection there at 75 miles an hour. Each one of these creates an even more dangerous situation, and a situation in which the officers really want to do what they can to bring this to an end. Over 2 hours, this pursuit has been happening from the San Fernando Valley all the way down here into northern San Diego. Another intersection, high rate of speed. Looks like it goes down to a single lane here, the stretch of Highway 76 here, well to the east of the 5, approaching the 15 freeway here through northern San Diego County. Going 80 miles an hour now. And as you can see, the sun is up. The windows are tinted in this 1993 four-door Saturn that has been driving for a couple of hours. And I keep mentioning the fuel, Tony and Marla. How much fuel? Oh, kind of meandered a little bit there to the right. He's got his blinker on, though. He or she's been using her blinker to make their way with the lanes, but not stopping for red lights. Not the case there, but turning on those blinkers, but going through those intersections at a dangerously high rate of speed, and you know, it's just the timing involved. If there's a car that's cross traffic there, we'll see a horrific T-bone accident. We've seen them in the past that even has resulted in the loss of life for innocent people. So single lane, single file highway here, Highway 76, northern San Diego County, approaching the 15. Yeah, no question on that one, Marla. That's right. Avoid the area, and again, we've been reminding people watching, if they ever encounter a situation like this, there's a pursuit. What you want to do, and I've had this early in the morning hours, you see and hear it coming up from behind you. You slow down, you yield in a safe manner, pull off to the right or the left, make room for officers to do their thing, and never ever try to be a hero. You just don't know who you're dealing with. A very erratic person, definitely, if you're running from the police. This is dangerous. This is really dangerous right here. Yeah, going across traffic there. Yeah, again, officers here, they're going to do the best they can to bring this to an end. It is a two-lane highway, single file each direction, no center divider, only that painted line there. Making his way into or her into the left mount. Yeah. And those cars. This is a road, and again, because we're up in LA County, this is San Diego County. A lot of you may not be familiar with, but you could see it's a rural highway, a lot of turns and bends, and that cross traffic has no idea what they're coming up upon. The westbound traffic there, the eastbound side is the side that this is on. Yeah, and I'm starting to lose that communication with you guys, so I apologize, Tony Amala, but I'll do my best to just relay to you what I see from up here, and give you guys the opportunity to speak on the picture that you see. I know a lot of times you guys see things from your monitors down there that I don't down below. But this is a two-lane highway here, the 76. I'm going to stay with us until we get to the 15 freeway here and see what this driver chooses to do. To get on the 15 freeway. It appears that the 76 does continue beyond the 15 freeway, so I guess there's an opportunity for the driver to stay on this narrow highway through a rural area of northern San Diego County, residential mixed with some agriculture here. A very popular area for farmers in this area because of the climate and the terrain here. A scenic route, this Highway 76 is, which stretches between Interstate 15, yes, the 15 that comes out of Apple Valley and Victorville, the stretch of 15 you take to Vegas that connects all the way to the south into San Diego County, and the 5. So the 76 is that east-west thoroughfare between Interstate 15, which we're coming upon, and the Golden State Freeway, where this pursuit was about 15 or 20 minutes ago. All right, slowing down here in traffic as we approach the 15. Driver in the left lane now, that maroon-colored sedan, that 1993 Saturn. How much gas? I keep asking that because of the real estate and the time involved here. Whoa, look at that, making a right turn there against traffic, making a southbound turn, and I think that the driver thought that was the spike strip, but that was just a little indentation in the roadway. So driver's getting a little more savvy, having passed a couple possible. Highway 395 southbound from the 76. Yeah, a little of both, because again, we see such erratic moves from he or she. That's why the pursuit started. I keep saying that at 4:30 in the valley. But then being on the wrong side, but then meandering away, and a lot of that, from what we've seen up here, and it's more difficult to see now that we have light. We saw the illumination of his or her cell phone, and that erratic behavior. Look at that! You turning it around. So now really trying to evade. Now we can get a good shot inside the windshield here of the vehicle and see. I don't know if you guys can see, Tony Mo, if you can make out if that's a male or female there, driver. Yeah, this is really going wrong side of the road. This is getting more and more erratic here. Very close to the 15 freeway. Now this is, again, this part's open. Maybe this SUV, this CH, we got opposing traffic. I'm just thinking the pit maneuver. I'm sorry for our vertical picture, but we're trying to keep up with the random driving of this suspect here. All right, coming back around towards the 15 freeway. Does the driver know this neighborhood? Unclear at this time. It doesn't appear so. I mean, from just the erratic nature of the driver, but hey, we've seen it before. We've seen suspects like this literally pull up into the driveway of a home of a friend or family member and give themselves up or try to evade officers that way, and it's the CHP. Those are the officers I've been pursuing. Residential area here in inland northern San Diego County off of Highway 76 and the 15 freeway here. You know, it's August 1st, so no school, you know. Yeah, it's been some time here. We're trying to get a beat on the driver's starting to slow down a little bit and make turns around the neighborhood. Now, this is an area where if officers get a handle, because I see the layout, it's got a lot of cul-de-sacs and a lot of dead ends. If these officers are familiar, and perhaps they're getting coordination from the community, the agency of this area of northern San Diego County, they'll be able to box this driver into at least the residential area so that he or she can't get out. Slowing down, again, maybe, perhaps, the driver knows the area. Maybe running out of gas finally, too. Again, we talk about when this pursuit started at 4:30, going on 2 hours and 15 minutes or so. And again, if you guys can see, if you can make and again, I cannot hear you guys at all. Again, residential area here in northern San Diego County off of Highway 76. This stretch of 15 makes its way down into the Fallbrook area. It kind of looks more like a female from us on the phone, moving very slowly here. Let's widen out a little bit. You can see a little bit of front end damage there on the right there, Tony and Molly. You see that on the vehicle there, coming almost to a stop here. So it's still moving, but a little bit of damage there. When that damage was incurred, unclear. We did see some very close calls earlier in this pursuit, which again started in the San Fernando Valley at 4:30 this morning, and now we are at almost 7 o'clock now on this Monday morning, 6:45. All right, another U-turn here, and doing a 3-point turn here, and backing up. No, here we go. Now this should be the end right here. So let's see what happens here. Now they're boxing. Wow. Wow. Okay, it's on again. Here we go, guys. Okay, we're hearing they are setting up spike strips at the exit of this neighborhood. I mentioned to you guys earlier that this is lots of cul-de-sacs, lots of dead ends. Come on, there we go. Let's try to pit it again, and now we got the backside, the bumper dragging there. A damaged car, but still a drivable car. Still enough gas to keep going. But it does appear that, as I pointed out when we first entered this nice, newer, upscale residential area of northern San Diego County near Interstate 15 and the Highway 76, there's a couple people out rolling their it's trash day here on this street. That what they're doing is they're trying to block off the area so that the driver at least can't get out of this area. There's dead ends. It is not a thoroughfare of like a pass-through, I should say. They attempted to pit the car a couple of times, damaged the bumper there, but the driver was able to get away here. This 1993 Saturn running its course through northern San Diego County as the California Highway Patrol continues to pursue what appears to be a female from our vantage point up here in Skyfox, wanted for essentially failure to yield in the San Fernando Valley. And Tony and Marla, I can't hear you right now. I'll toss it to you. This is a dead end. If something big happens, I'll chime in, but I'll hand it to you for a bit here. Dead end cul-de-sac, and making its way around. Now let's see if they're behind. This is where they could box the driver in. Wow. Wow. I have not seen that before. Now the officers are turning back and the pursuit's continuing on. That was an opportunity right there, as I said, where there is a dead end, a cul-de-sac, where they can prevent the driver from essentially exiting a stretch of roadway here. They have a plan in place, the CHP does. They're doing the best they can to bring this to a peaceful end. And fortunately, nobody's been injured yet, despite the fact that this driver has busted through red light intersections at 90-plus miles an hour at times, and meandering their way now through this residential area. And whether or not they know the area, they know somebody here, we have another dead end coming up, meaning that they can't exit this area. They're essentially boxed in right here. So we'll see, yet again, if the CHP comes up behind the automobile here. This is a cul-de-sac coming up, we believe. Yep. Another dead end, flipping for a U-turn, and we saw this before. Let's see what happens. Evading the officer there. And, yeah, I'm perplexed here. Let's see if they pit the they don't. They just let the driver continue here on its way through this residential area. And again, that was a dead end. That was a blocked area there that driver would not have been able to make her way through this area. And you see those signs on the streets, in residential areas that, not a through street. And that's this entire neighborhood. This entire neighborhood is essentially has entrance and exit points by just a couple of streets. And those streets, we heard, because as I pointed out when we first were on scene above this particular area here, and again, it's northern San Diego County, if you're just joining us off of Highway 76 and Interstate 15, that this is an opportunity where they can block off this residential area, at least cordon off that area so they can't get back onto a freeway, into an area where we saw those intersections, and keep this very erratic, unsafe driver off, who is now going to be convicted of a felony for evading officers here. Another dead end here. You can see residents coming out to check out the situation. CHP cruiser behind, and we've seen this for a good almost 10 minutes now through this area. No question. All right, let's see if this is finally a pit maneuver. Here we go. There we go. Spun it out, but wow, was able to evade that one as well. Now going into a dead end. So this is another dead end cul-de-sac. 2 CHP SUVs, a minimum of 2, behind the driver here. That was the pit work. It spun. It didn't work in terms of stopping the driver, but that's essentially how that works. That they tap with some good force the back end of the car. So here's a cul-de-sac. Now this is up through across the lawns, off to the driveway, evading CHP again. Hits the parked truck there with a camper shell on it. Back outside, able to get out of that cul-de-sac yet again, despite being boxed in there. Let's see if there's other officers here now. No. It doesn't appear so. So, oh no, now, okay. Now they're blocking it. Now this is going to come to some sort of end. But if as this suspect tries to ram her vehicle into, okay, so this is the most dangerous situation here. That is a use of force against the officers here. So they're trying to gain access to the car here, trying to open the door. They're backing up. There's a lead officer telling officers what to do here, trying to punch the window. The driver is not giving up at all. Passenger window glass broken, guns drawn. Suspect not giving up at this time. A badly damaged car because of doors open, and yep, female driver being pulled out. Looks a little confused, has her cell phone there, and she's going to jail. Now, unclear if they knew that she was armed or not at this time, but that was a bold move, an end to this pursuit here in northern San Diego County that traveled from the San Fernando Valley, starting at 4:30 this morning, all the way to this point near Highway 76. We'll get a close-up look at this as we approach the 7 o'clock hour. Female in custody. Now, what I haven't seen is the officers haven't, clearly they know that nobody else is in the car. They check the back seat, but typically what we'll see is they'll open the trunk, they'll do the official code 4 fingers to make sure that we are all code 4 and all clear. Cell phone in custody. There's her cell phone there. That's what we saw her communicating on. Tosses it back into the vehicle there. Cuffs on. She looks a little confused. Looks like she wants her cell phone back. And she's been written up for a number of violations. First and foremost, a felony of evading police here. Starting at 4:30, we'll try to get some background information on this individual for you. But this pursuit, I'm going to toss it to you, Tony and Marla. Again, we don't have communication with you anymore. Thankfully, nobody was injured, at least from what we saw. To you, too.